It's been removed. That was one of the repackages I refer to in my statement. Allegations framed as facts. I get this one a lot, and no, it doesn't. Nor does it show context. It doesn't show what happened before or after. To be clear, there is no footage in existence that shows me harming another person, and I have never been convicted with the physical assault of another person. Good question, and I'd like to answer this in two parts. Firstly, I don't have all the footage. Over the years, I've made numerous Freedom of Information requests to Queensland Police. Those requests have all been denied, citing issues with the volume of that material. And secondly, I won't publish private and sensitive material of another person just to satisfy some online commentary. Yes, an application for a domestic violence order was made by police in 2015. There was no trial, there was no finding of guilt, and there were no admissions. The order was made in my absence. Good question. And I assume the gag order was made to prevent or limit my capacity and ability to address the ongoing falsehoods against me. Disappointed. Disappointed that they still surface, even after all this time, but I understand why. I am now a public figure, and these clips are used against me to justify a smear campaign. I have no doubts that they will be used against me for years to come, and I will continue to face backlash for them. But reasonable people will see this statement and consider I've set the record straight. All of the original Australian articles that were circulated in 2016 are no longer available online in their original form. What remains is repackaged, edited, and manipulated content. That's a long story, but some programs revisit old controversies when someone becomes publicly visible. In my view, that 2023 segment was repackaged and repurposed, old allegations and material, without sufficient emphasis on court outcomes, police investigations, and context. That's why I've published one statement and frequently asked questions here. A short clip doesn't prove what happened before or after, and it's no substitute for a proper investigation. The matter was dealt with through the proper channels, and it didn't result in charges being brought against me in relation to those allegations. No, I wasn't charged nor convicted of those allegations. Claims that I went to jail for those allegations are false. I was charged with 11 offences, which included drink driving, evade police, trespassing, resist arrest, and possessing and detonating explosive devices, and 2 domestic violence charges for willful damage of a phone and a broken window. I wasn't charged with any of the serious allegations made in 2016. A DVO is a civil order. It doesn't automatically mean that a criminal offence occurred. No admissions were made, and there was no finding of guilt by the court. Question. There were decisions made at the time on how to handle that process, and I'm not going to relitigate every step publicly. What matters to me is about correcting misinformation around outcomes. As I mentioned, there were legal restrictions preventing what I could and could not say. Those restrictions have ended, and that's why I'm making a statement now. Because these claims keep resurfacing as I've become more public-facing in recent years, and because I believe the public deserves to know the truth. I want one place where reasonable people can find a clear statement and the main facts. I'm not going to argue conspiracy theories online. The matter was handled through the proper channels and didn't result in charges. That's the truth. There are a number of third-party websites and pages still recycling this stuff. Some of them combine old material with fresh allegations, using a technique that can look pretty convincing. They combine real documents and clips with unauthenticated claims and selective editing, then present the package as proof. It might be clever, but that's not how truth is established. If anyone believes they have any evidence of criminal conduct, The appropriate place for that is the police, not social media comment sections. I encourage those with an interest to dig a little deeper and look beyond some of the headlines. I think reasonable people will make up their own mind. Over the years, I've experienced a range of emotions: anger, sadness, and frustration. Frustration because, despite what anyone believes, I've not had a chance to share my side of the story until now. Whilst I'm not perfect and I've made plenty of mistakes over the years, I do believe that I'm genuinely a good person that means well. I think most people can see that I'm a good person, who I am and who I have become, reflected in my community work, my advocacy, and all the good that I'm doing locally now.